Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Michelle. We're going to begin.
Good morning, Rabbi.
Good morning. We're up to Eis. Yesh l'hoisif. We did Yesh l'hoisif. No. Yeah. The whole Rachecha Da'eho is even greater than mitzvah D'Rabbanan, because the mitzvah D'Rabbanan makes the object a davar shebekdusha. As we said yesterday, it's not just a chiyuv on the gavra, but it, like a mitzvah to say deiraisa, it changes the status of the chetz of the object. But it's forbidden with Rabbanan. It's not just mitzvah the person, but the object itself becomes tied down, or if it's mutter, or if they add something, that becomes a davar shebekdusha. Even the Chanek Manera, the Psilas, etc., the wicks, there's all the halachas way it's dealt with. Whereas B'chol Drachecha De'eho, knowing HaShem in all your ways, so here it's mamish, bringing Elikos and Inyon Rishus. And that's the Gemara that Ezer Parsha Ktana Shekol Gufa HaTorah Tluyim. But what is a small parsha? That all the body of the Torah is dependent in it. It's these words, B'chol Drachecha De'eho. So the diuk in there's three diukim here. First of all, Gufei Torah, it's the etzim of Torah. In other words, again, being Jewish, not just doing Jewish. Being Torah mitzvahs, not just doing Torah mitzvahs. Number one, the diuk is cotton. It's in small things. Not in even mitzvahs D'Rabbanan. And number three, it's shaykh what? Even, right, to the cotton shebektanim, to everyone, because we're talking about etzem neshama. We differ widely in seichel and midas, but not in etzem neshama, and that's what we're talking about. So Apia Omor is daled in light of the above, Amalil. Shall you design mitzvahs D'Rabbanan? She sifa chachmi so. So the 7 mitzvahs which the Chachamim added, we said before that nimshach na'li yosem ba'ershin nimshach aliterik atayak mitzvah. So this draws down a higher and hence its descent, its reach is greater than the tayak mitzvahs deiraisa. Yeshtem v'derachevshar. The Rabbi gives down new pirush in Sima Kosov. The pasuk concludes Yeman Na Yisrael, which we said is that goes on. HaShem Ki Toiv is Torah, that's Teiraisa. Yeman Na Yisrael, that's Eden. The Chachamim, the Rabbana. So what do we say? We say Kilei Olam Chazda. She's going to say that this Kilei Olam Chazda is different than HaShem Ki Toiv Kilei Olam Chazda, and that is Shachidush V'Yisofa Bazeh Uleirak Bam Shachas Ha'er L'Olam. The Chiddush is not only in the further Hamshacha Rabbanan in the world. That it comes down lower. We said this, but the Maim hadn't spelled it out. Now you're saying it. In the mile of the Oisha Zau'inyan Chazdoi. Chazdoi Dafke, his kindness, as opposed to the Chesed of Ishtalshalos, which is like our kindness. We can relate to because it's gvul, but we're talking chesed shalamayim mishtalshalos. We're talking about a chesed that Eibishter bestows that is beyond the system, beyond the shtalshalos. Kiyadua, as the Gemara says, that it's known, the Indian, Marim Sochim Chafav, Kiloilam Chazdos. There's 26 here if you count. There's 26 Kiloilam Chazdos. For your kindness is everlasting. Simple meaning. Shekeneged, what's the 26? Dafka the David HaMelech composed. Keneged Chav Vav Deiris Rishonim. There's first 26 generations. They were nourished with Hashem's, because of Hashem's kindness, undeserving. So this kind of chesed, which is not dependent on the aved of the matter, means it's boundless. The kreil chesed shalamayim b'shtal shalos undeserving bestowed nonetheless. Their darkness and light are equal, and even though the matzah down here was dark, he still gave. So that's Kileilam Chazda, the 26 Kileilam Chazda. Hainu, meaning. The level of Chazda which the Rabbanan are Moishe, which Chachmei Yisrael gave, added through the Mrs. Rabbanan. So this Chazda is even higher. Well, the Ma'ila Yosim B'chinas Chazda Shenimshach Adei Tarek Mitzvah Torah. This is higher even than the Chesed that comes through Tarek Mitzvah Torah. Shazen Nemar Hidla Hashem Kitoyev Kileilam Chazda. So let's get clear. It's this. That's the level we spoke of a moment ago. Kachashecha Ka'ira. Yeah, so what's the Chiddush? Okay, now he's going to add on the HODU. But now he's saying, no, so what the point he just said before, that the world was nourished, that's the Yom Yisrael. So just have to understand, what's the Pirush of Kileilam Chazdoi, the first one, which is Torah. Also says Chazda. Don't know. He's saying that this level, Chazda, that was nimshach through the Rabbanan. So what's Kilam Chazda of Torah? Doesn't say, but it's clearly it's a higher level. Maybe we'll get clarity as we go further. Another Chiddush, and that is even though so even though as we're saying now that the oil which is drawn down to the Zayim Rabbanon now the B'Yosef B'chinas Chazdoi Shalom say the Shtal Shalos. He says in the brackets now what we're asking, but doesn't identify what level it is. The Ma'ili Gam B'chinas Chazdoi Shenimshach Adeter Mitzvahs Deiraisa. Okay, so he's answered that question, but he hasn't identified the level. There is a Chazdoi Deiraisa, but what?
It seems like you're not making a deal on Chazdoi, you're just saying it's a different Chazdoi.
But both say the word Chazdoi.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can't deny that. You can't avoid that. So there's Chesed, and then there's Chazdoi, which is Nimsha through Torah mitzvahs, Tayak mitzvahs, and then there's Chazdoi of the Rabbanon, which is high still, but we're not seeing that in the Pasuk itself, an indication that the Chazdoi is different. So this dargi which we effect through Zaymitzes Rabbanan is a level, it's Chazdoi, which is high in Nishtalshas, and there everything is equal, dark and light. So why does it come to you? You come walk and Yisrael Dafke. That's the Chiddush of the Zaymitzes Rabbanan, and even though the Mamshich at level where Yaakov and Esav equal, as it were, light and darkness, nonetheless, the Eid is Nimshach Dafke to Yisrael, right? That's what we were learning. We're talking about Purim, but the Maimon Basilagani, why did we bring that in? Huh? Yeah. It's general, it's Nimshach Dafke to Yidden. It was the end of the Maimon, Chabbeis. I was talking about at the Temech Geroli, the level of Gerol. Was somehow connected to the Maimon. Okay, Yadua, Binyan Bakashis Moishe Rabbeinu, as it's known, Moishe Rabbeinu's request. Pashas Kisisa, and that was Shetisha Shchinda al Yisrael Dafke V'li al Umas Olam. that Hashem Shechina should reside in Eden and not Umas Olam. Like he says in Parshas Kisisa, that you go with us, and that I and your people be, Niflinu means set aside for a unique relationship. So the question is, why does he need to ask this? Matan Torah already was Hashem chose Eden. So why is Moishe Rabbeinu requesting here this extraordinary moment that Hashem revealed himself and he hid in the clefts of the rock then? And he asked his name. Right, know what I'm talking about. So why the request there? Hashem already chose Eden, Matan Torah. Since in Golus Eibishter's presence ascends, is removed as it were. So he's talking about the future, number one. Number two, there's also following Chet HaEgel. So it's kind of as a Golus right there. So therefore, in order for the relationship to continue, since you're no longer deserving, so it can't be Adam Shocha because of his Tata. So it can't be a relationship mitzad Ishtalshalus. Ishtalshalus means because we deserve it. Bezdin Shamayla agrees that the Hamshacha, that the relationship with Eden should endure because we have created it. It's not, that isn't happening. Because the Shechina Solik Leila Leila from Ishtalshalus, because Mitzad Ishtalshalus we're out of the picture. We ruined it. So therefore, how does it continue? I'm shocking because I'm back with Shabbat and Ishtalshalus. David says, I love you despite. Can't let you go. So it's a minor Ishtalshalus. It's not a cheshbon here. We don't deserve it. We're not mamshech din yonim. So if we're going higher than Ishtalshalus, it's irrational. Completely in their darkest light, so it's lav dafke to Yidden. And therefore need for special unique requests. Then nonetheless, this hamshacha should be for us. Now, why is it? Because of the etzer. Because of the atzmis dike shayches. That's again we explained in the Purim Maimah. Ata toimach yerola, you support the girdle. The girdle is the level of higher than Ishtalshalus. But why is it Nimshach Dafke to Yidden? Because Ata Toimech, because of the Kesher Atzmi. So he's saying at the conscious level in Zman HaGolos, there's no connection. Therefore, we have to go to a connection that is beyond deserving, not deserving. And there comes the tefillah that it should be Dafke to Yidden, because this tefillah is evoking the essential connection. Clear? The Maimon is not saying this, but I'm giving you the Maimon is just saying that it's a mechidush, that even though it's a level, we're talking about Hamshacha, it's higher than Ishtalshalus, it's drawn to Yidden, and the relationship endures, and that's a special bakosha. Because Apiseicha, why should it? It could continue, but not just for you, for everybody, because we have to go beyond it if we're ignoring your matziv. So, it doesn't mean that your unique connection continues. It means you're tolerated. Even more than tolerated. You can get a big amshacha, tremendous hashpah, Esav too. So the tefillah is, no dafka the yid should have this connection. So interesting, this might be chidushim here. Why are we calling you Gimel Midas Harachim Midas? Midas means measures. Which is what he's invoking here, Moishe Rabbeinu, this whole story here. It's all after Chet HaEgel. We're talking here again a guilty beyond the Ishtalshalus. Notwithstanding the Chet and the betrayal, the connection remains. So it's higher than Ishtalshalus. How do you call it a midah? Befratchi is going to say Midas Rachim. It's tremendous chet, which means in Lamayim Ishtalshalus itself, it's got to be mamash the bligvul. Okay, let's sakim gamzeh to fix this. Yesh tzedich b'amshachish Lamayim Ishtalshalus dafke. Mamash have to go beyond the Ishtalshalus because it's a big chet. Smaller chatoy maybe Ishtalshalus, a reasonable fixing works, but when it's destroyed like this, it's in tatters. You have to go beyond the shtalshelus after chet ha'egel. So that's what's being nimshach. Give midas rachim. How they called midas. Harinyanam or bligvo. It's in front of Allah. They call it mishem midas, and why they called midas malashim medida. The answer is achinginu shagilim mibchina shelamayim mishtalshus beifin dekachashecha ka'ira. Because the gil is from a place where all is equal, dark and light, so therefore the bakash is it should come down. This is really a segue to the Bas Ilagani. It's the whole chiddush of that. Even though it is, it's kind of the other way. Overtly, it's gvul, but the pnimi is bligvul. You're saying the other way. Overtly, it's bligvul. It's got to come down in gvul. It's got to come down in a way of a midah measure that should be drawn to the right place, and not that clipper should gorge on it and also be nourished. So that is the special tefillah of the Niflinu, and that's why he's invoking your Gimel Midas. What do we call them? The Midas Aracham. So including the point that so Yidden, this is Amisid Rabbanan. So even though they're Mamshik Chazdoi, which is beyond the Chazdoi of their Isa, even though we're touching on a level where all is equally insignificant, so have even from this level where all is equal, there's a personal and pneumistic connection. Clear? Right. Review of the Maimer. Overview of the Maimer is as follows. And tomorrow, Be'ezer Hashem, start a new Maimer. So this is all a Maimer that Rebbe is revealing here. Ksav Yad of the Alter Rebbe's Maimer, that at this point in 1962 was not published, but subsequently it was in the following years. So the Alter Rebbe explains that HaShem ki toiv ki leilam chazdoi, toiv goes on Torah. The whole description here, these last psukim in Hallel are all describing Torah. But what? Describing Torah first the Raisa, and then the Rabbanon. That's Yomar Yisrael. Yomar is Amshach. So that is the Zay Mitzvah the Rabbanon. Torah, Tzivil on Moishe, Torah B'Gemat V'Tafri Shud Aleph plus, right? Is Taryag plus the 2, Dibris 611 plus the 2 that we heard directly from HaShem. That's Taryag. But the Chachamim and Moishe Zay Mitzvahs, and that's the Yomar Yisrael. And why the Pratim? Because in Torah Gufa, it's Chesed Gvor Teferes. Yisrael is Teferes. Yomar Beis Arn is Koinim, and they said that's Chesed, and it's Chasodim, and then Yomar Yid Hashem, that's the Leviim, Avoid of Gvura, Shira, singing is explained in Chassidus. Yira, and that's, as just mentioned, is Torah Avoida and Gemilas Chasodim. So the diak is Kileilam Chazda, it's drawn into the depth of the darkness of the light. And why did Chacham Masakan this? Because of Masakan these in Yonim, the time of, for the most part, by Sheni, when there was Yerida, and we were not a Keli for Torah mitzvahs as we were earlier. The diak, I think, here is the etzem is nimshach through Torah mitzvahs, but the luminousness of the amshach, the giloi, that was missing because they were lower. So therefore, the mitzvahs that Rabbanan came, like Chanukah and the cheshech of the time of the Yevonim, likewise Purim in the Cheshach of the Gzeira, HaChashverosh v'Haman, Netilas Yadayim, which is a dealing with Tumah, that Shlomo was Mesaken in his time before eating Kodshim. So all of this is because of the Hel and Vehester, and therefore the need for the Takonas Chacham. That's the Maimah of the Alter Rebbe. The Rebbe adds, connection to Rosh-Chodesh, that we say these Psukim Rosh-Chodesh in Hallel, because Hallel is also one of the mitzvahs D'Rabbanan. And that's the Chiddush, that here's an ordinary weekday, which is Mutar Basis Malacha, and Hallel, we're illuminating it. Behiloi Neira, he lights my flame. That's Tamshacha Lamata in Uvdin Dechel in the ordinary weekday. So this is the union of the Zayis D'Rabbanan. And now he states it's an Eidin Nile, it's even higher than the Raisa. That's why it can descend. And the example he brings is what? Is Ner Chanukah. Even though it's modeled after the Menorah of the Mikdash, but we see it goes beyond. The Mikdash is in the Heichal, in the Kodesh, in fact. True illuminates the world, but indirectly. It's not placed there, but the Menorah, Chanukah Menorah is Pesach, Beisim B'Bachutz, illuminating the outside, to the point of Kal Yarigl the Talmudoi, to consume the lowest level of the Talmudoi. People come from Talmud, and he brought the Gemara that's where the servants rebelled against Shlomo Melech settled. So it's all a rebellion against Shlomo, who is sitting on the throne of God, and that's transformed. That's the power of the Zayim Mitzvahs D'Rabbanan, the power and the reach and the transformative power of Dafka Zayim Mitzvahs D'Rabbanan. Then he goes on to say that even greater in a sense is Bechol D'Rachecha Da'eho, that a Jew knowing God in all of his ways, but it's not even a mitzvah D'Rabbanan, it's not Kadosh at all, and there he brings Elikus. So this is the true Das, the true Das, the true Iskashus, as we said yesterday, when it's not that he's doing, it's that he is. And I just mentioned before, this is the Parsha Ketana, the Gemara says that call it Gufay HaTorah is Tuyabah. Guf means the Etzem of Torah, and it's in this Gal, and it's very small incidental things, and it's by every Yid. Every Yid, this Shaykhis to the Avodah B'chol D'Rachecha Da'eh. His eating, sleeping, and drinking should be with an awareness of Hashem and part of his service of God, and in the Yiddish way, in the Chassidish way. It's Geit HaChassid, the Shlaft HaChassid, the Chassid walks, the Chassid sleeps, the Chassid talks, engages in everything. Elikus radiates. So then he added now in this Dalet, like we said about, he said already, Bemis, it's a higher oil. But now it goes into more detail. It's already stated earlier that it's a higher oil, which is why it reaches lower. Now, what's the darga that he's telling us in this Dalet? It's the darga of Kachashecha Ka'ira, which is Chazdoi, his chesed, beyond the Shtalshalas. And the Chiddush is that this is drawn in the Pnimius, Dafke to Eden, and not that Chas v'Sholem Klippa should be gorged on it and become and corrupted. Whenever an oil makif is drawn, you have to take precautions that it doesn't nourish klippa. The person's in a makif state like simcha, which is makif, has to be careful that he doesn't get misdirected, or it's easy to be deflected. When he's in a state of cheshbon, what's right and what's wrong, and it's a moral thing, and he understands. So if that's his modus operandi, the ma'ila, that is, he's going to do the right thing. But when it's bligvul and simcha and ava, so there's the danger there that it gets siphoned and he ends up in the wrong place, or he's hit number 6, please, or he's bringing into that world that which doesn't belong. He's koshering that which doesn't belong there. We see this. I want to give examples. So that doesn't say, so the answer is not avoid simcha and remained always calculated, cheshbonos, right, wrong, punishments, schar oynesh. No, avodah bligvul shtus de kedusha. But the special tefillah, which draws on the etzem, the nishtus de kedusha and the simcha, which is bligvul, it's all embracing and it's everyone. At the same time, it's pnimius, as he says, that it's drawn in the right way, and it's not a condition where chas v'sholem, there's the words of Chassidus, by Fabrengen, is a typical small example. Fabrengen is Lachaim, so it's higher than the Hakbolas. So Dafka, there's the danger that it can be Yinikin Chetzonim, that Chetzonim get nourished, and that he goes to the wrong place. So it's a scary avodah. Better be careful. Parshas B'Shalach, Nochem Elikim, Hashem didn't lead them derech eretz Plishtim through the Plishtim Kikorav. What's Plishtim? Plishtim, the h'tshek Chassidus. Movim Mafulish means an open alleyway. It's open from both ends. Plishtim is Simcha de Klippa. And it's Plishtim Kedusha, Simcha Kedusha. So he didn't take them that way because it's too early. Start right away with Simcha Bligvul. It's going to end up in the wrong place. Kikorav, even though it was very near, but Kikorav, it's very near and very likely that this avodah, Fabengin, and Chaim, and Simcha, and that, if it doesn't come through a whole achona, it ends up actually nourishing Plishtim the Klippa. It does tremendous damage. So therefore, but Tchilas Avodah, they didn't take them through the Avodah Plishtim of boundless Shtus Kedusha Simcha, which is what Plishtim means. Open-ended, there's no limit. Like Ma'il Ma'adid in Ketzel, Matam Ma'adid in Tachlis. Plishtim, open at both ends. He didn't take them, that's not Tchilas Avodah. A child has to be, and likewise a person, his own Avodah, has to be very strongly controlled. Even the simcha has to be controlled. It's not carte blanche. Even the simcha has to be controlled. Times you have to let go, but there has to be control. At the tefillah of Niflinu that we're learning here at the end of the Maamar that Moishe Rabbeinu requested, even though it was the Pechira, but now after Cheta Egol, you need a gili, which is L'maya V'ishtalshalos. So here's the danger that it can go in the wrong place. So Moishe Rabbeinu is davening, v'niflinu should be nimshach midas harachim, in the midah, in the pnimius. All of this, all to say that this is designed, Mrs. Rabbanon, that even though it's higher than ishtalshalus, and kachashecha ka'ira chazdoi, still it's nimshach to yidden in such a way, in the pnimiusdik way, and does not end up, again, nourishing the wrong place. It just occurs to me, this could be in Gansen, not Negeya, but it just occurs to me that a possible ramification of parallels here is this. So, this is motion you stated, I'm not saying anywhere else. So the Rabbanan are adding something, but there's a big danger in that. Oh, the Rabbanan can add, and so can we. That's the justification for the whole conservative reform. They did, so why can't we? So, Kiloilam Chazdoi, that even though we're drawing it from level of Bligvul, it should be Nimshech in the right place and not Yindikei Chetzonim. It shouldn't be distorted for purposes of the opposite of Kedusha. A possible related parallel or consequence.